Good morning. We have a problem. The number of deaths on Connecticut roadways is on the rise. So far this year, there have been 83 driving deaths. In 2019, there were 48 for the whole year. So the question is, why? Connecticut Department of Transportation Commissioner Garrett Eucalitto is here with some thoughts on that. Commissioner, thanks for being back on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
That's stark. 2019, 48. Here we are, first weekend in April, and we're looking at 83.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
So compared to back in 2019, people are driving much faster. They're much more aggressive, and reckless driving is on the rise. Distracted driving is on the rise. Impaired driving is on the rise. We also had a much more mild winter compared to in the past, and you saw 8 motorcycle fatalities, whereas usually this time of year we have 1. So a lot more people were out with their motorcycles, and a lot more people were killed while motorcycling in our state.
A lot of that, I know from talking to you in the past, is a COVID thing as far as the speed. It seems people's habits just change. Is that carrying forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I think people have broken that social contract they used to have when they get their license, get behind the wheel. It seems like they're much more selfish and reckless behind the wheel. And they don't care what is happening to others on the roadway. They think they're a good driver and that they can handle whatever comes their way. But in reality, you could be the best driver out there, but you can still lose your life if someone else is driving erratically or dangerously.
Obviously, there's a speed enforcement, a police element to all this. But from a DOT perspective, as you see these numbers rise, what kind of things can you do?
So we're doing a few different things. One, we piloted automated work zone speed cameras to help protect DOT workers as well as construction workers who are on the side of the road. We're also installing wrong-way driving detection systems that will alert state police as well as DOT that someone went up the ramp the wrong way. We're doing something called high-friction surface treatment to make the pavement a little more sticky for cars to hold the curves. More signage on the sides of the road telling you when curves are coming, when stop signs are approaching, and trying to clear some trees. We've had a rash of trees either falling onto cars or people crashing into trees. And we've seen a lot of progress there, reducing fatalities and crashes from trees.
All right, let's break some of those things down. You mentioned the wrong way driving, and just a few weeks ago, we had Eric Jackson from UConn on here who researches all this, and he said those wrong way driver detection systems where they flash, they light up, they alert authorities if someone's going up an off-ramp trying to get, which would end up being the wrong way on the highway. He says they work. He says Rhode Island got them in, of course, with a fewer number of ramps, and he says the statistics bear it out. So where do we stand on that, and do you agree that that's going to help? Yeah,
it definitely is going to help. It's not going to stop everyone. It will stop a lot of people who do go the wrong way up those ramps. We've already seen that it's been working. We have, when someone does go up those ramps with it installed, we have around 40 installed right now. We will get a video of them going up the ramp, and we're seeing them actually autocorrect once the lights come on, and then go back down the ramp or go up and turn onto the highway the correct way. So we know it's working. It's not going to stop everyone, especially if someone is very, very drunk. They probably will just go right through anyway. So, but at least if we can save one life, it's worth the investment.
Well, and that's what we heard when we had Eric Jackson on the show, is he said, you know, if there's a common theme here, it's that the people who do lead to crashes tend to be impaired drivers.
Yeah.
And that's something else DOT is looking at, is that idea of going from 0.08 to 0.05. I know there's been talk about perhaps a different type of penalty. Maybe it's an infraction instead of a full DUI. That's something you support as commissioner?
Yeah, we've put this bill forward last year. We also put it forward this year. We feel pretty passionately that Connecticut needs to do something a little bit differently, because alcohol impaired driving in our state continues to be a huge problem. We're one of the worst in the nation when it comes to that. So it's been proven across the world and in the U.S., in Utah, that if you lower the BAC, you'll see a reduction in fatalities due to alcohol impairment on our roadways. So we want to have that discussion. We think it would help save lives. And really, it's not intended to stop someone from going out and having fun. It's really to stop them from getting behind the wheel after they've been having fun. So think before you go out, plan for a sober ride, get a designated driver, call an Uber or Lyft, a taxi, take the bus, take the train.
And the criticism to that, and I'll just have you respond to critics, is, you know, when you get to a level like 0.05, it might be one beer at dinner is something, depending on your body weight and how much you drink and things like that. And people are going to say, well, you just told us it's the people who are severely impaired who are the problem, Commissioner. How does it sort of bear out when you look at the numbers?
Yeah, I mean, the science shows that for an average male who's 173 pounds on an empty stomach, 4 beers over a 2-hour period, empty stomach, that will get you a 0.05. A woman, 137 pounds, empty stomach, 2 beers, over a 2-hour period. So it's not like one beer with dinner thing. It's about being smart when you go out because you are impaired at 0.05. I know a lot of people think, well, no, I can have more beers, but your body does, everyone's body is impaired at 0.05, not as severe, but you have slower reaction time, you can't react to an emergency situation, you have trouble following fixed objects. So it is a concern at 0.05.
I want to make sure we talk about some other things. You mentioned tree cutting,
Yep.
and I said to you before we started, you know what people say to you? Oh, I love that road. The trees are beautiful, Commissioner. You cut all the nice trees down, but you've seen results.
Yes.
So if people do complain, what do you tell them?
Yeah, so back in 2018, the legislature actually increased our funding for tree and vegetation management, and we've seen a reduction in fatalities and a reduction in crashes, around a 17% reduction in total crashes, over 30% reduction in fatalities. So it's having an effect. And this is a reduction when all of our other types of fatalities and crashes are increasing across the state. So we're clearly doing the right thing here. They are beautiful. Connecticut is one of the most densely forested states in the nation, but it shouldn't be next to the roadway because we are seeing people lose their lives due to a tree limb falling on their car, or someone swerving to avoid a deer and crashing into a tree and losing their life. And that's not what we want to see happen on our roadways. Another
thing that's been a big talker is these automated speed cameras. A lot of people sort of take the I don't want Big Brother watching me sort of move, but I know one of the places that our viewers may be familiar with is that big project down in East Lyme along, 74, 75 on I-95. There was a pilot project there, and were the results good?
Yeah, the results were fantastic. We did see a reduction in speeding throughout that construction work zone. It was nearly a 20% reduction in speeding through that corridor, which was amazing. And we did this as a pilot program so we could see, we gathered speeds before the project, during the project, and after the project, during the pilot project. And so it's proven that it will reduce speeds. We are now trying to get permission to make it a permanent program so we can do it at other work zones across the state. Because in reality, our DOT employees, the construction workers, the laborers who are going out there on the side of the road, traffic's going 80, 85, 90 miles per hour past them, within feet of them. And that's not how anyone should be going to work and facing those conditions.
We only have about 30 seconds left. I said in the tease to this, you tell us what to do and what not to do on the road. So you've got the floor. What do you want to tell people who are out there driving on your roads?
Yeah, I mean, think before you get behind the wheel. If you have had something to drink and you feel different, don't drive. If you've been doing any other forms of illegal substances, don't drive. But also, stay to the right-hand side if you're driving late at night, because wrong-way drivers, we know they'll probably be hit you on the left-hand side. So if you're driving late at night, be aware of your surroundings, stay on the right-hand side of the road, and just think before you drive.
All right, Commissioner Garrett Eucalitto, thanks for coming to see us again, and we hope you'll come back soon.
Yeah, thank you.